All right, thank you. All right, good evening, everyone. You're welcome to I think this should be the third class, right? In the series. So today we are going to be taking a very important part of the AI tools. Like I said, I don't want to start with the topic because the topic is going to come with the presentation. So I just wanted to remind us why we are here. I think I keep on mentioning this thing because if I'm able to pass these two messages across to you, I think I'm done with the presentation. So yeah, this is the fourth class. Thank you for reminding me of that. Sister Rebecca, so thank you. So yeah, let's get right straight into it. So our class is going to be on Mondays and Tuesdays, 7 to 8:30 p.m. Okay. I'm going to keep on flashing this so that it becomes like a tradition until this thing ends. So somehow I believe in the theory of what flooding. It's a psychological theory. You have to flood somebody with something. The first two slides, I'm going to keep on repeating it until everybody already knows how we're going to start and everything. This slide keep on flashing so that you don't forget it. If you have watched the movie Focus by Will Smith, you understand what I mean, Sha. Yes, you are going straight into the AI tools. That is the reason why we're here. And then the application. If you notice how this particular track is coined, AI tools. Okay, remember I said know what AI can do, and then here's something like and the applications. So you can understand why you have objective. So the objective is even subsumed in the name of the system. Now, here is the question, right? We have a lot of AI tools. Good. Thousands of them. Okay, I'm going to start with an interactive session, right? Can someone just share an idea of what should be that, and that's going to form what we're going to be talking about today, because I just want to make us participate in this. So if you could raise your hand and tell me what is missing in this picture, if you replace that question mark, that's us there. That guy is representing all of us. So what could be that question mark there? I don't know. Can somebody try to kind of shed light? There's no wrong answer. Okay, so can someone try? I need a hand up. I need it to be interactive before we go into what we have today. I need a voice. I have seen the prompt. Yeah, I feel well, thank you. I've seen Ruben and all that. So I need someone to talk. I need to hear a voice. I want to ensure that I'm not in a room full of dust and cobwebs. So, all right, Ruben, go ahead. You can unmute and speak. I can't hear you.
Prompts.
Okay, prompt. All right. So thank you very much. Ruben, you still want to talk? I can't see. Okay, your hand is down already. iPhone. Who is iPhone? Mike. Okay, iPhone. Michael. Michael, you can talk.
Okay. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good
Uh,
evening.
from my own perspective, I'm just saying like what you give is what you take. Like whatever you give to it is what is gonna like give you back. If you give it a good thing, it's going to give you a good answer.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. All right. If your hand is still or you still want to speak. Okay, thanks. All right, so yes. I like the fact that some of us are very smart. Yes, so the way we interact with these AI tools is prompting, right? Yeah. Prompt has a lot of meaning. 1 a.m. prompt and all that. So I have to be very, very distinct in what I'm describing here, prompting. So that is actually the topic for today, this art and science of prompting. So you cannot interact with any AI tools. If I don't kind of treat this one before we go into all of them, it means you're going to be missing a piece, right? You think that you know it all, but my friends, let's be honest to ourselves. The difference between A and B and C and D in using AI tools is the prompting. So if we're able to get this right, we are going to be effective in producing results. Again, our results is going to be targeted at our what we submitted as our expectations, which I've recorded and I've updated, and I'm equally going to show you the updates. So yes, you are correct. So today, the topic of today, like I said, normally we start with the cover slide, like the topic, but now you can see why I just kind of let me know whether we are kind of in tune with what is going on. And I am very happy that every person, the three people that actually made an attempt, they got the answer. So yes, let us talk about prompting. Okay. First of all, before we go to the AI part of it, let's even look at prompting so that maybe if you are missing something in that word, you might have to go back and say, hold on a minute, I've actually been doing this thing properly. So I went to Webster Dictionary, okay? There is verb part of it, okay? There are two verb definitions. Number one is as in to cause, right? To be the cause of, in bracket, a situation, an action, or a state of mind. Okay. Then there is another from somebody to when you are using it as a verb, okay, like an action word. Another meaning is what? As in to urge. They are kind of similar. To try to persuade someone through earnest appeals to follow a course of action. Okay. Now, let's go to the adjective part of it. Okay, when somebody say, are you prompt? Are you immediate? That's no longer using it in the, sorry, I'm not teaching English, but I want us to understand the concepts of the whole idea. Okay, immediate, okay, and it is with the notion of done, carried out, or given without delay. Okay. And then there's a second adjectival definition of it, which is as in quick. So you could see that there's similarity between the two, having or showing the ability to respond without delay or what hesitation. Okay. Now let us just take the other one, the noun part of it, as in a reminder. When you are reading the news, they say look at the prompt. In that case, now is the name of a thing. Now is the name of a person, animal, place of thing. You're looking at the prompts, all those kind of things. So you could see prompts, the word prompt, before we go to the prompting, because prompting is a term that is adopted in a particular AI, which is largely driven by what? LLM, which is called large language model. So when we talk about prompting, it's more like you can see it's relatable to the verb definition of the prompt, right? So when you come to AI, you are talking about there's an action. Like I said, if you look at the first two slides, I say, how do we interact? What is the action word between the human being and the AI? And we answered correctly prompting. So now, today we are going to be looking at the art and science of crafting effective input. Okay, that art now, we can now add our own verb in the dictionary because AI was not there when all these Oxford Dictionary, Cambridge Dictionary, and Webster Dictionary was. So now it has another meaning in the world of tech, right? So let us now narrow down to prompting as it concerns us. And remember, I said prompting is like the fundamental of using what AI tools. So it is very, very important. We start with the general understanding of prompting, then we begin to narrow down to our individual application of prompting. So let me repeat what I just read out now. It is the art and science of crafting effective words inputs. Now, please because please, why we are going through this course is not really about the theory. I want to make it relatable, right? So I'm going to take on the word arts. I'm going to take on the word science. We are created with brains. Remember, here I am to kind of tell you what you can make AI do, because AI is already a powerful tool, all right? So whenever anybody is taking a course on AI, what's different between all the courses online in this particular course? Now, you understand where the idea of art and science comes in, because when I mentioned that you are the what was that, the commander in chief, yes, You are the commander, and that's the word I actually used. You need to understand that when you combine the art and science, you become a better commander, an army general that can actually get more results from AI, because what's the difference between you and somebody that is just playing around it? Because you are here to listen and probably get some of the things you might have missed in the whole usage of AI tools. It's not a new thing. Everybody's using ChatGPT, everybody. So now let me narrow down to the world of art and science. First of all, you know that the brain, okay, is created. In fact, the difference between Homo sapiens and every other creature, whether living and non-living thing, is one thing: brain. Okay, because our brain is advanced and developed. We can see man is able to communicate, speak different languages, kind of move through civilization, solve our own problem, and we are still solving problems and all that. There's no other creature, or there's no other species of living thing that can do that. So narrowing down to the brain, right? Because I said there's artificial intelligence, which is the AI, and then there's the natural intelligence, which is the NI. So when you talk about the brain is a special organ in the body. That is where everything kind of uh, what's it called? Everything, just like the computer system has the CPU, most of the actions come from the brain, all the thinking, and if you have to run, you have to move the signal have to move from central nervous system to the peripheral nervous system. That's the truth. That's biology. If you are thinking, okay, there are different, thinking methodologies, right? There are different types of thinking using the brain. Sometimes your thinking could be emotional, driven by feelings, okay? Sometimes your thinking could be rational, driven by reason. Sometimes your thinking could be logical, driven by laws and principles and, approach methodology, step-by-step method of doing stuff, okay? Sometimes your thinking could be critical, driven by, when you are doing critical thinking, you are combining the rational, the logical, and scenario. That's like data. You can refer to certain things, and that's critical thinking, okay? But sometimes also, there could be what we call creative thinking. So let me go at it again, right? Sometimes your thinking could be emotional, like driven by feelings, Um, there's another part of thinking, type of thinking, which is more like rational, reason, okay, driven by reasoning. Okay, you are reasoning something out, trying to solve a problem. Then there's another kind of thinking which is logical. When you are thinking logically, it is based upon, you remove emotion. It's all about laws, you understand. Example is mathematics. Mathematics is just a logical thinking. X is equals to um, x plus 2 is equal to 5. Therefore, x is equal to something. When you're following those set of rules and this thing, you are thinking logically. Okay, even in programming, that is understood. Now, there's another kind of thing we'll talk about: critical thinking. Critical thinking is that you have the logic there, but you are not basing every single thing on the logic. You are going to bring in a rational, you are going to reason through the logic, because sometimes, even though the logic is true, you have to be wise. The wisdom now, when people talk about wisdom, wisdom is when you're not going to base everything on the logic. We are going to combine some of other reasoning. So critical thinking is actually, another word for critical thinking is problem solving. Okay. So, but I'm saying also that in all these things, there's quite another type of thinking called what? Creative thinking. Now, creative thinking is mostly inspired, like if you are writing music, for instance, okay, that music is not anywhere. So you could kind of creatively try to use even logic and everything. Logic is actually, for instance, in music, there are laws and there are principles of music, there are music theory and all those kind of things. But you're not using that music theory to create something that was never there. If you are writing a piece of material yeah, you're writing an essay, you're writing a story, and all that. So that's creative thinking. So when you come to prompting, right, you need to bring in that natural intelligence, which is creativity, so that there will be a difference between the result that you get, okay, when you compare it with some other person that is using the same tool. So what are we talking about now? In AI prompting, we are going to today look at the arts, okay, and then the science. Science is, of course, something that has to do with methodology. So whenever you see science, it's not in the definition of study of nature and blah, blah, blah. When they talk about science, it means there is a level of logic in it, you understand? So prompting has a science. So prompting is a combination of something that is creative, okay, and something that is even logical in the sense, meaning that there are sets of rules when we talk about the science now, even if you are creative, now, because what is running these algorithms are models. And remember, most of those models are based on algorithm. So you need to understand how the algorithm works. So that's the science of it. So even if you are creative, you'll be able to say, okay, if this happens, you understand, this is the way the algorithm is going to interpret it and give me my results. Ladies and gentlemen, if you understand this, okay, there will be a difference in the way you use these tools. Okay, so let us complete the sentence. So the art and science of crafting effective inputs. Mark that word input, because I remember I say interacting with the AI tools. You're going to be giving it inputs, right? And those inputs in code now are referred to as what? Prompts that guide. Now you can see when we talk about prompts, okay, the most popular model now in the whole AI world that is reigned everywhere is LLM, large language model. Take it or leave it. It's upon large language model that we actually interact with ChatGPT, meaning that what the idea of large language, because it can do anything, right? It has been able to gather a lot of vast amount of information from the internet and everything, so that you can interact with it using your normal language, not coding. So you don't need to be a programmer. It even helps those that are programmers to even decipher and kind of generate codes for them to either correct, modify, and even use. So pay attention to the idea of large language model, okay? To generate the hair, this is the reason why all of us are here. That last part, accurate, important, relevant, and contextually rich outputs. If you are a caterer here, at the end of the day, your objective should be, I want to generate accurate, relevant, and contextually rich outputs in my own field of study so that it can help me become faster, okay, and more efficient. Not only that you are faster, you are more efficient and even effective in your work. That's the idea. If what we are getting from AI is accurate, if it is what relevant and contextually rich, people will not know, or they will find it difficult to kind of say that this was generated by AI. Now, this is taking us to what I used to say. Know what AI can do and know what you can make AI do. I wanted to, make sure that some of us follow the journey for development of the class material to see that there is a way I'll develop this class material. You will never know. And that's what I wanted to demonstrate when I opened it up. Like I shared even every of us were part of even generating the tasks in the first class, you understand? See, assuming I did not tell you people and I come and you see your name on the slide, okay, you will feel the difference between this, my own output now that you are seeing people's name on slide, putting them into groups and everything. You will never know that AI did that. But I was able to make AI do that, okay? So that somebody that has been using AI will never give that kind of output, Now, when we start, customizing our our what's it called our projects and everything, you see that it's AI that is helping me, but the output is so rich, it's so accurate, it's so relevant. Like imagine the group they put you is relevant, and then when we develop a study guide for everyone in the group, it will be contextually rich. Okay, now when you look at the prompts, okay, I got different schools of thoughts, okay, on prompting, and I want to highlight a specific phenomenon, right? So there's what they call prompting hierarchy, okay, different schools of thought. I just got this thing randomly. Okay, the first picture you see, they see full physical, you see partial physical, you see model, you see verbal, you see gesture, you see visual, you see independent. You see that what they call most to least intrusive. Please, every opportunity we have, let's use it and learn something new. Most of us, this particular slide might be the additional thing that we ever get out. Maybe all this thing I'll say you already know it, but pay attention, right? This is actually used in psychology and even in teaching practice. Okay. So you could see uh, the second one, if you're moving towards the right hand side, they kind of inverted it. So why I'm showing you this, I don't have like a close this thing about, just understand. I'm going to explain what this thing means actually. Okay. Don't worry about whether physical is on top or this thing, but you could see that there is a similarity. Okay. The other one, you see where verbal is, and then you see where gestural is against the second one now. So let me read it from bottom up. So you start from verbal, okay, sorry, from top down. So you have physical, positional, okay? These other people use fully physical, partial physical. You see positional, you see model. Model is model, the other side. I like that. You see visual again. You now see gestural, and then you have verbal. All these things are represented there. Okay. Let me go to the one on top here. You see from dependent towards independent, fully physical, partial, model. Now, it kind of, it was following the first one. All of a sudden, you see gestural there, and then you see verbal, and then you see physical. Very interesting. Let us go to the one at the bottom, the one with the small triangle. You see physical. Now, there's nothing like partial physical in that one. They went straight to modeling, they went straight to positional, and then gestural, verbal, and visual. Then let's look at the last one. You see something like physical, model, visual, gestural, and verbal. Listen, how many people do you think that wants to do prompting will go into knowing what is physical, what is verbal, what is gestural, and everything? Now, the imaginative thinking, okay, this is where, pay attention, this is where the thing gets interesting. Can you imagine making something that is supposed to be just prompting, okay? Everybody knows that it's prompting, and now you are imaginatively trying to integrate what is obtainable in psychology and even in teaching practice in interacting with your AI tool. You see, there's no way someone will beat you in that. How many people have sat down to understand what is even prompting? What is hierarchy of prompting? You see, if it is your consciousness when you are kind of giving the AI to this prompting, you will see that there will be a different result they are going to get from it. Now, let us look at, why do they say moving from the least intrusive, okay, sorry, from the most, look at that first one that has arrow, pointing upwards. Why did they say most to least? And then look at the one on the top right hand side. You will see something like dependent towards independent. I want to give a context to it, okay? I am not going to take any of this school of thought, but I want everybody on the call at the end of this to understand the general idea, okay? Now, general idea is that if you are doing the most intrusive, that the one that has to do with more interaction, like intrusive means intrusion, like you are interacting with somebody. If you are teaching ballet dancing to a novice, you are likely to be physically touching the person. So I want you to have the context, okay? If you're teaching somebody how to jump or something like that, you are likely to start off by holding the person, tell the person. If you are teaching somebody how to play violin, you are likely to help the person say, no, put it in, bend your neck like this. This is how to hold the bow, you know. So that is intrusive and that is physical, okay? The instructor physically guides the learner through the task, okay? Can you imagine if you can use words, prompts to guide your AI tools, you know, in an attempt to even be physical, even though it's not physical? I see where the creativity comes in. Okay. So now let us go to model. Okay. Some people will be asking this model. I'm not defining this in a code. I'm not taking any school of thought here. I'm just going to define what they mean. You can arrange your own the way you want to arrange it. Okay. In this case, the instructor kind of demonstrates the desired behavior, you know, for the learner to imitate. So if you demonstrate that desired behavior, you present that desired behavior as a model. Okay. For instance, you say, okay, hold on, let me show you. You collect the violin. You're no longer touching the person. Okay. Now you are doing it, and the person is looking at how it is done. Again, while I'm saying this thing, I'm not teaching anybody how to play violin. Remember, we are here for AI class. Imagine if in your prompting, all these things are into consideration. Okay. For instance, I can show how to use a computer shortcut. Okay, hold on. Let me show you. Control Z, bam, control this. If you click on this, click on this. You are now presenting a model to the person. Do you know why that is a model? The model is used in different profession. Okay. For instance, people that are doing fashion, they say they have model. Okay, what is the model? Means something that can be replicated. They are showing you that this is like the way something like a physical person can be. I want a model that can wear my clothes, meaning that that clothes can be worn by any model, and that model represents the actual size and blah blah blah. In engineering, there is mathematical model, there is computer model, there is physical model as well. For instance, those that are doing architecture, they will do a small representation of the building and all that. So the word model almost is everything in all profession. So when you kind of give somebody something that is repeatable, like that, it takes that your action as a model to continue. Okay, I think I can do it. You understand? So that is the model. Visual. When we talk about visual, right? This use this like the tutor or whoever that is transferring the knowledge. Remember, I said this prompting is more of transferring information. Okay, it uses visual clues. Okay, like pictures, charts, you know, written instructions, color coding, and so on and so forth to say, okay, do you know what this? So you see, it's a bit different from what model. Okay, this one you are using a chart, what we call visual aid, to actually, you know, kind of show your transfer the knowledge you want to transfer. Then we'll talk about gestural, right? Of course, gesture. You know, I might not be pronouncing it very well, sha. Pointing, nodding, motion, oh, thumbs up, well done. Like you are actually transferring information. Okay, when you shake your head like this or nod your head, it can even, you can either signal disapproval or approval. There are numerous, they call it body language. Some, you know, some people can refer to this as body language and blah blah blah. There's a way you frown your face, you have already communicated. So in this, it gives you some form of what we call tuning, because again, when we enter this prompting, you're going to understand what we call tuning. Then verbal, I don't need to overflog this one. Verbal is word, you understand? The way somebody speaks, the tune the person is using to speak, and the mannerism. Okay, sometimes they combine verbal and gestural, you know, so spoken instruction. Now you could see that along all these things I have mentioned, somehow within there's nothing that relates to prompting in all these things, right? But guess what? Look at very well. This last one we call verbal, right? what are we using to do prompt? Is it not text? So if you can understand that your text is equally verbal, okay, and that verbal can present a model, okay, and that model can be used to describe a gestural, representation. You can create an image. You can give a background. These are small, small things people miss in prompting, because the way the algorithm works, if you think, okay, in line with normal prompting hierarchy, you are going to be better. That's why I'm not going to teach you like this is how to prompt. No, because it's an art also, and it's a science. There's no way all of you are going to take the same thing, from the class. So now I want you to pay attention to the small notes that is down here. And that is also related to what we might refer to as what? Tuning. So the goal, do you know why we are studying this whole prompting hierarchy, blah, 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 blah? It's not just for fun, okay? That's what I highlighted in the bottom of the slide here. The goal of prompting hierarchy is prompt fading. Please mark my word. What is prompt fading? It is systematically moving from the most intrusive to the least intrusive. I am not sure if you are teaching a ballet dancer, you want to be holding that person for 5 months. You are going to start with holding, after holding, if you want the person can actually take that one, it's okay, let's look at me, let me do, okay. After some time, you might be able to play the best dancer in the whole world and present it as a model to the person. You keep on watching them and trying to, you can begin to now teach them different types of, that you are using your verbal this thing, giving gesture. You can actually, kind of put some wallpaper, and is it wallpaper they call it, posters on the wall, so that people, so you could see gradually. The goal of everyone that is teaching is to move from the most intrusive to the least intrusive. Like the other triangle you see there, you see dependence, the person is totally dependent, and then to the pyramid, to the tip of the pyramid where it's independent. So at that point, you can say, okay, well done, nice one. You cannot be using gesture, you tried and everything. Again, prompt fading in this context can equally be what? Applied in prompting. You don't want to start prompting an AI tool and then maintain that high level of, see, it will start getting some things right. Okay, if people, this is where people get it wrong. People get frustrated when they don't get what they want and everything. No, you can't start teaching somebody how to play football in a day and the person is a professional. You have to spend some time. So if you understand this line, you see that you begin to kind of get prompts and you begin to fine-tune it. And that's what we are going to talk about today. Now, the structures of what? Prompting. People use acronym to remember them. Again, I have done my research. I'm not buying into anyone, but it is good to know everything, right? There is a school of thought. If you check CRISP, okay, anybody that have done prompting, CRISP is the most popular framework that everybody uses. Okay. There's equally trace framework. These are other people believe that trace is more important than what? CRISP. Other people say there is ACE framework. Okay. No problem. But for this class, so what I'm telling people that know all of them, my proposition, know all of them, and don't believe that anyone is more important, because this is an art, right? At some point, okay, one of these people might play a better role in what you want to get against the other one. So it is good to actually have a grip of all of them. Let's just take the first one. So now, when you are doing prompting, we are going to do an exercise here. You understand? We are going to use the last 30 minutes of this class too. It's going to be purely based on exercise, interaction, practical. Okay, so it is only going to show, I'm going to allow you people, we are going to be doing the prompting together. I'm not going to put myself under any pressure. Like I said, I'm not a professor in this class, right? with some of these things I've mentioned here, I'm sure that I have triggered some people's curiosity to begin to reason beyond, what, they came for. And I'm sure that by the time we get to that section of this class, you see the effects, okay? Crisp is for you to remember the idea of context. Before you give a prompt, to please give it a background. You understand? Not in all cases. See, that's why I said, is it all prompt that needs a background? For instance, if I just want to know the definition of prompt, do I need to go and give it a background and on that, by the time I give it a definition, I know the definition now. I was, please, what is prompt? So it's not all prompt. You can now see that these things are not cast on stone. Please don't take it, hook, line, and sinker. But I like the idea. The reason why these ideas are good, that these people have actually studied this thing very well. They understand the algorithm. You understand? So they have saved you that, energy for you to discover these things yourself. And would you have been able to place it this way? I don't know. Number two, role. Sometimes you need to define, while you're giving your background, you need to define personas. If you could recall, I'm going to make this thing now interactive. The context was, I said, remember my prompt, I said, there is a class on AI tools and application. That's a background, okay? And we have students that actually enrolled. I'm now giving, you see how the prompt is different from every other prompt. There are students that actually was registered for this thing. Some of them submitted what their expectations are. What am I trying to do? I'm combining the first and the second one. I'm giving it context and I'm defining the roles. You see, I mentioned there are students, and in that prompt, I now put the names of the students and what they said, were their own expectation. Okay. I now told this thing, please. Okay, you now move to I, instruction. Remember, crisp. When you have given it a background, it will take the background, and then follow up with the instruction. I say, can you generate a study guide grouping these individuals, a study guide that will be what? Effective for a 3 month program. Look at scope. A 3 month, I did not say there's a way I'll give this prompt, but it will give it because I did not put the scope. You could generate something that can never even be finished in 5 years. It can give me a full university course. But because of the scope, you understand, I said that could be done in 3 months. You will see when you give it that kind of scope, you now see something like week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. Or month 1, month 2, so your month 1, month 2, and month 3, something like that. Because of that single line, the result changes. Okay. And then look at the last one presentation. I told him I like this thing to be in a tabular form. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not started kind of understanding how these things work, you might be exerting energy and not getting, remember we said accurate, relevant, and contextually rich results back. Okay, that's what I just wanted to. I've used crisp. I'm now going to move into the other one, right? Some people use trace. So this acronym is for you, okay, to be able to kind of recall them. You understand? Because you might not, your brain, of course, you know how our brain works, you might not. So when you remember Chris, remember context, the role, the instruction, the scope, and presentation. So when I'm giving my prompt now, have I covered all these things? Or do I even need all these things? Right? You need to ask yourself questions. So knowing this thing is, should be applied in 2 ways. Have I been able to apply all of these framework? Or is there anyone I'm missing? Also, am I unnecessarily adding the one that should not be there? These are, remember I said, you need to be flexible because you are using your own natural intelligence. Okay? So, trace, let's go to trace framework. In trace framework, you're talking about, you can see that there are somehow, okay, things that are repeated, like the task is similar to the instruction in the quiz. Okay, reasoning, okay, is another angle to it, right? Now, reasoning, you can actually make this thing reason. For ChatGPT, there is one icon. Don't worry, we're going to come to that. Okay. Then assumptions can be likened to background. Okay. You can give it, assuming I have this number of people in my class. Okay, assuming I want to do a training for 3 weeks and everything. Okay. Constraints is similar to scope. Constraint is something that creates boundary. Like you are not God, you don't have it all. Okay. There are some limitations to what you want this. Like, for instance, I have a constraint with time. There are different types of constraints in anything that we do. In fact, the most important constraint is time and money. Anything that is stopping us from doing whatever, either you don't have enough money, okay, or sometimes you don't have enough time, okay. These are just kind of constraints. So, assuming a lot of people talked about accounting, project management, and everything, what if your project that you are going to manage has a constraint of 6 weeks? You see, now I'm relating it to what some of us have come to do. Make sure that whatever you are doing, you add all those constraints so that the result you are going to get is going to be accurate, is going to be relevant, and is going to be contextually what's rich. Okay. Then evaluation criteria. Okay. Now, do you know that there are some prompts, okay, that you could give some further instruction and give it like a criteria. Make sure that this is, for instance, now let the tune. Some people don't know that you can tell it to be professional, okay, and less of emotion, okay, or you can say be very compelling. For instance, if you are into marketing, right? Somebody can say, please generate a marketing material about a power bank that we are going to sell that is going to be used for social media posts. Another person will say the same thing and put compelling. You people are not going to get the same thing, no, sure you know. Somebody can say, give me a compelling, see, just putting that is like a criteria I'm giving you. Oh. Please, oh, if it is not compelling, don't generate. The other person say, just give me da 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 da. You can see where two people interacting with AI will get two different results. So you could see it is actually, you have to keep on, fine-tuning. This is actually a career on its own. The ability to interact with AI, okay, because you now know what it can do, and you are now beginning to understand what you can make it do, okay. Now let us go to the last one. Last one says ACE, okay, action, context, and expectation. Okay, action is similar to task, is similar to instruction in the other quiz. Okay, context, in context, you can combine the context in the first one, the assumption in the second one. Yeah, there's equally rule. In this particular one, you can put the context can equally be the scope. Okay, so like I said, don't take these things hook, line, and what? Sinker. And then the expectation. If you go to the first one, you see the scope, right? You see the presentation. The other one, you see, they use what? Evaluation criteria, okay? And there I would say expectation, how results should look like. Sorry, that's this thing. So you could see, please, this particular slide is the objective of this particular class today. Please, I hope the information, because if I don't achieve every single class that you come here, if you don't achieve objective or go with something new, it means it's not worth it. Stop coming, because at the end of the day, I am wasting people's time. So if somebody has to bring out 1 hour 30 minutes 2 times in a week to come, I must be able to tell you at one point where I'm delivering the, see, I've spent time in this particular one, this particular slide, because this is the foundation upon which every other thing in this course, when you get your certification, okay, at the end of the day, this is one of those things. If you talk about, see, if you're having a conversation with a friend and say, see, you don't know how to give prompt, right? Let me teach you. You are going to make me proud or make Code House proud when you talk about. See, when you want to give, see, even from tomorrow, start having discussion with people. See, you need to consider Chris as if to say, I'm like 5 years ago. Say which one be Chris again. No, no, no. You have to speak grammar. Some of you even have a better pronunciation and better phoneme than me. You see, you have to consider the context. When you consider context, look at the role play and everything. You are calculating clips inside your mind. Before you know, you could just add, now give it instruction. And because of this, it can even combine the one way there for three. Say, because of constraints, you have to give it a scope and blah, 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 blah. This is what makes you a professional. And you're going to collect people's money. Trust me. This is when you start speaking, every other person in that table will keep quiet. And that is how you know you are winning. Because if you are talking, do you know when everybody is talking? Because everybody is saying the same thing. Go to a place, okay, engage in a conversation. Just check that man. Whenever he starts speaking, everybody keeps quiet. It's because he has mentioned something people don't know. See, whenever you're having a conversation and start telling the people what their father did not, at that point, you are their father. If you are talking to people that their uncle did not, at that point, you are their father, their uncle, their teacher, and everything. At least for that few seconds, let them keep quiet and listen. Trust me, if you go to any discussion tomorrow and say, see, you see a lot of people brag about this, they don't know anything. They will look at you somehow. What is this one talking? Me, the way they use a ChatGPT for 5 years. Okay, have you given a prompt that contains the framework of scripts? In fact, you can even do guys say, do you know, because you have that time, if you want to know about script, call me later. The two sabi now. Me, I'm not going to tell you. There's what they call script framework. Stop there. Don't even say any other thing before. Just go home. Hang this thing there. That's how to humble people. You see, there's even if I want to even finish work now, there's one they call trace framework. And then if you take my time now, the person will call you. After that, the person will call you the guy that alpha. That's the way you talk, alpha. But it's all over the place. You understand? So please, this is it. Now, what are we going to do? Right? We are going to look at the core principles of effective word prompting. Please let your this thing be clear. Don't try to confuse the AI. Remember, the AI is there to give you results. So if you confuse your ally, I'm sorry, your result is going to be confusing as well. The second thing is context. Okay? Provide necessary background information. Very important. Okay? Now, instruction hierarchy. Okay? Give key tasks first. For instance, I'll give you an example. If I want to talk about things like how social media affects people, I am not going to start with a prompt saying, give me the effect of social media on. No, you understand? I can come up with the idea of, assuming I want to listen carefully, you can see the difference. This is where your natural intelligence comes in. You come with an assumption, like assuming I want to write a comprehensive, you see, I'm giving it a sense of scope. I added the word comprehensive guide on the dangers of social media. Can you please give me typical 5-chapter guidebook? Guys, if you give this kind of prompt, you are starting very well. So the way you give, the way you order your prompts, you can see the thing will generate topics for 5 chapters of the book. You can now say, okay, let us look at the first topic. Okay. Remember, you did not even come with any topic. Oh. Now, you will be shocked that topic it has given you will give you like a direction that you never even know. This is where the hierarchy of the prompt you give is very important. Why do you want to come and say, this is about social media, blah, 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 blah. You go write. You go keep, see, there are some people that like the prompt, Some of you are in this call. You go prompt. Oh, but you go scroll. You don't even know the one where you go take because all of them are looking very interesting, but it is all over the place. I can assure you, most of us are guilty of it. You have prompts everywhere. You see, you go prompt, because see, you know, say you know they pay for them now. You go just the prompt. We like free things. You know, the prompt they go, they prompt they go, they prompt they go. Think go just they fire down, they fire down. At the end of the day, you will be there for 5 hours prompting. Me, I have finished. If you see my own, very, very clean. So imagine these two people now. I came with zero knowledge of what I can say. Okay, assuming I want to write a book on that will give a comprehensive guide on how to, avoid social media dangers and everything. What could be, a typical um, topic for a chapter. You see, when you do this thing, now, chapter 1, you see something like introduction. Wow. Chapter 2, something like types of social media. Oh, already, you are beginning to align. Okay, you have held the hand. Remember, I'm creating an imagery now. You have started with the like imaginary, the physical, like that's where you started. Like, okay, you have brought the AI, see it as a physical thing. You have brought it in. We are now on the same page. See, every other prompt you are going to give him is going to be progressively what? Contextually rich. So you can now say, okay, I like what you have done, okay? Can you combine chapter 1 and 2 and probably add additional, make it a sixth chapter? See, you can turn this AI because now the AI is already in context happy that the prompt that is giving you is already helpful. Okay, you can say please combine chapter 1 and 2 because it's almost the same thing, and and because when it gives you a prompt, you recognize that there is a topic that is missing. Remember, these things are not perfect. By the time you realize that there is a topic that is missing, you say put that topic between this and this as generated this. You are now in it. Okay, so instruction hierarchy is very, very important. Now let us go to number 4, constraints. Okay, set limits, word count, tone, format, put it in PDF, put it in PowerPoint, and all those things. You need to be able to handle things. Then examples. Remember, in the first class, sometimes you need to even download a document and upload it and say refer to this document. Some people have not been doing it. Start doing it today. Sometimes you can get an article, download that article, give it an example and say, use this article because you don't want to plagiarize that article, hook, line, and sinker. What they call verbatim, you copy everything. You need to be smart about these things. Carry that article, upload it, say, please go through this PDF uploaded. My intention, you give it a background, is to do this and do this. Can you summarize the article to give so and so? You will see you're going to be getting, maybe you have a business proposal to write, and there's a similar business proposal or what we call concept note somebody has, you downloaded from the internet. You'll be able to say, okay, I like this thing, but I want to apply it in agriculture. I'm going to develop a fish farming. You understand? Please, I want you to use this particular. You can see, you are giving an example. That example might be something that has to do with music concerts. I don't, sorry, but it might be something different. You understand? You need to know that AI can. I now need to know that you can equally make AI do certain things. Some people don't have this idea. By the time you do that, what you are going to see is going to be very, very accurate, relevant, and contextually rich. Okay. Now, iterate, refine your prompt. That's why I say, remember, in the prompt, this thing, you move from dependent to independent. Begin to soft pedal, begin to tune it. Okay. You saw an example when I talked about the images I generated. Oh, this is 1 after 8. So let me write this. So you have to use 30 minutes to do something. Iteration, then verification, cross-check or a prompt for validation. I said, remember validation. Sometimes you need to actually what? Validate what you have actually this thing. So uh okay, I'm just going to rush you through this thing because I have to keep to time by 8:25 we are done. So LLM, remember, when we talk about, I'm going to start with the LLMs first, ChatGPT and all that. So like ChatGPT, a predictive text model trained on massive data sets. They don't stink, oh, in case. They predict the next most likely word given to a sequence of word and everything. I'm not here to teach you, sorry. This is not the computer science class. I'm not here to teach you how, because all those things you see, those magic you see in ChatGPT, they have algorithms that actually, all those prediction, blah, blah, blah. But please, that is none of our business. Our business here is learn how they work. Okay. Clarity and cost ability lead to poor results. The model, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is an example of what I say. Just imagine somebody say, writes about dogs. This is too vague. Okay. The result will be a generic essay. You go retire. But look at this one. Write a 200-word persuasive essay for 10-year-old explaining for 10-year-olds. You can see. You can see you have added the audience. Explaining why dogs are the best pets using what? Humor. This is clear. And you have added the audience, you have added the format, and even the tone, humor, using humor. ChatGPT, I like that. He will say, okay, right away. You see, no, they waste time. Brrr, it will vomit everything. Anyway, that's by the way. So, 3 minutes late. So, I want somebody to, we're going to do a practical here. So, an example we could use for demonstration for this session. Okay, please, please. Then we can upvote and then take, just type it in the chat. Drop examples in the chat about anything. So when we vote, we'll take one and give an example. And to your test, O Israel, um, at exactly 8:25, we'll be done. Please, 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 let's get to the chat. Drop suggestions. Okay, drop it in the chat. I'm not seeing anyone. No. I don't want to give an example. I want to take example from, please confirm I'm still audible. Oh.
I can hear you, sir.
Okay, that's fine.
Sir.
All right. All right, please. I want not every, if the spirit touches you, just drop something, any topic that we can probably look at. Okay, please. What's happening? Product marketing. Okay. You want like give me an example of product. Oh. This your prompt. It's not a prompt, but just something that business management, product marketing, business. Okay, let's start with this. Yeah, Code House Tech Camp as a product. Okay. Um. Okay, for the want of time, monitoring evaluation in health. Good. Oh boy, you don't plenty. All right, please. Please, what I'm going to do now, okay, we are going to vote. So just take one, okay, just take one example, and then, oh, but they don't give me plenty. Sorry, it's okay, it's okay. Stop, honorable members, off your mic, off your mic, off your mic. Now you find trouble, okay? Yeah, you guys are wonderful, fantastic, fantastic. Okay. So, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to give. In the chat right away, I'm going to drop ABC. Okay, everybody, you choose your own. Okay, then the highest votes is what we are going to be taking. So very soon, you're going to see. Okay, oh yeah, I want us to choose. I've dropped it. Everybody choose the one that has the highest. The letter that has the highest, we'll take it as an example. We have the next 60 seconds to do this. Okay, nice. So, CF, CF, okay. Imole, no campaigning. Imole is campaigning. If I say vote for, You want to do your work here. Some people want to do the office work here. Okay. So I'm going to let me count. One, C is one. I think C has one. C 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, wow, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay. The next one is F. So um I'm just going to compare C and F because C and F seems to be the highest. So C is 21, F is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. D con they come last to 11. Okay, F no reach. Let me count D because some people just drop D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16, 17. So C is, what is C self? Sorry, C has 1. So C says what? KodeCamp. Ha! Okay, so yeah, so C has 1. So I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to pull up this thing. So who introduced C? Raise your hand up. It's not by suggestion. No. Who introduced C? Unmute your mic. So now I'm going to reshare with the ChatGPT screen. We are going to together do some prompting now. So please let me know when. Let me know when the ChatGPT screen is visible, please.
I can see your screen, sir.
Okay. Imole, tell us about what do you mean read that thing again? They say election has been rigged.
I can even
Okay.
share the documents for you that you add as a file, the brochure.
Okay, that's fantastic. Okay, yeah, before, okay, can you, where do you want to send it?
Uh, I'll send it to, I'm not sure if I can share it in the chat. So
You
can I
can
send
send it to my WhatsApp so So what we are going to do now, we have very limited time to do this, you understand? So
sir?
if you share it in my WhatsApp, I will be able to take it from there. I can
All right.
even kind of display it on the screen to show people what it looks like at least. Then while you are sharing it, I want you to tell us about the program so that you see this is practical, right?
All right. So Codehouse Tech Camp is a virtual training for kids. So it is unlike the usual Codehouse Holiday Tech Camp that we have. We started it since 2017 and we used to have it during the holidays. But Codehouse Tech Camp is like taking your kids, making sure your kids is part of everything tech from January till December. So it is an all year round program where they get to learn Scratch programming, web development, then Python training for the older kids, and the usual computer appreciation, or you call it digital literacy. So yes, those are the trainings they will be doing, and it is for just very small amount of money, $200 per month, and for the first 20 registrations for each month, you get to pay $100. So that is pretty much everything about Codehouse Tech Camp.
Okay, let me share the documents on this so that I'm going to just flash it, the brochure, so that you guys will kind of appreciate what we are going to do. So I'm going to stop sharing and share again. Okay, this is the document we are talking about, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, there's a document here that says Tech Camp, a fun and engage, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to read all this, we don't have time. Okay, so I just want to flash what is in the document. Okay, so this is what the documents, okay, these are, we have basic computer science, we have web development, we have Scratch programming, we have introduction to Python. All right, so that's it. Okay, let me go back to um okay. Now let's go back to the chat GPT. Let's start. So I'm going to share the screen now. Okay, are we up? Are we up?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, right, Imole, you have given us a background information, okay, about this. So, let me go back to the chat. I want to see what you said there. You said CodeCamp as is a product, right? And there's a background information on it. First of all, unlike every other thing you are doing, this particular one now has a document. You can see she has shared the document I have shared with all of us. So the first thing I'm going to do, first of all, remember that I said most of the time, if this thing looks like something that is going to be a huge listen, I'm not going to start here to do that. So let me zoom in a bit. I'm going to start to develop a project on it because I want to share that document inside that project. What some of us are used to is that when we come here, we start typing, right? So let me do this opportunity. I say, okay, no, this is going to be interesting. So, and it's going to have multiple stuff. I might have to develop timetables and curriculum and all those kind of things inside that particular disease. So it's not just anyhow. So I'm going to click on new projects, right? When you click on new project, you give it a name. In this case, I'm going to give it Tech Camp. Okay, this is the spelling that I saw. Tech, then K-A-M-P. Tech Camp. Okay. Now, does it have to do with any of this? Is it right? Is it homework? Is it investment? I don't have to choose any of the key topics. So I'm now going to say create a project. Okay. Now, if you look after creating a project, just watch, you see by this side now, you are seeing Tech Camp here. Let me zoom in a bit. You are now seeing that Tech Camp is here. Are you seeing it? So you can create many projects, right? So I am now in Tech Camp. So I can equally share this with a collaboration. Now, if, okay, more like give me your Gmail. Let me just do a practical.
I've dropped it in the chat, sir.
just read it out. This is a file. So this folder, you'll be able to view it. Okay. I'll copy. Hello. Wow. Let me.
It's better now. We can hear you. Go ahead, sir. All right, everyone. So you'll be joining us shortly.
Yeah, like I was saying, this is a project and I want to share it so that even before I start, the person will get notification. So the person can equally, collaborate with me because I'm inviting the person. So like I said, this is, you can see a share button here. Look at it at the top here. I'll say share and then I'll drop her link. Now, dropping somebody's link, this is what some of us did in the format, is not enough, right? I want to show you the importance of all these things here. You will see that who has access? Only those invited. Yes, only those invited means only those I put their email specifically here. Or I might be able to share link to people. So the one I chose for your this thing, I'm not going to do that in this case, but I can change this and say anyone with a link. You will see this thing will change to what? Link. Just watch. You can see. So you can now click on invite and copy the link, right? But I'm going to change. That's what I did, right? Now, anyone with link, if you click on it now, anyone with link can view. So I'm going to change. Some people did not do this. That's why when they shared the link, I wasn't able to. Okay, so that's by the way. But in this case, I just want only those invited because I'm using email here, right? So I haven't added email. I will now click on what? Invites. All right. Now, if I invite, you could see they copy these things here. You can share on LinkedIn, you can share on X and everything. Okay. You can see I've added this person, but watch this person. There are other options. The invite has been sent. Okay, if the person accepts it, okay, there's going to be a difference here. But you can see this invite I sent, this person can chat, but the person cannot what? Edit. Okay, I can even decide to I don't like this person again. The person don't make me vex. I will just come out from the distance. Can what? Edit, right? So I'm going to select can edit. So I've given the person. So more if you can quickly go to your email and probably accept the invite. You will have received email by now. So right now you could see that this icon has changed. Okay, the icon is no longer only just file. You can see that changed to it has added something that looks like human beings here. This means that this particular file has been shared with someone else. So now let's continue. Add a file. Now I'm not going to give a prompt here. I'm going to click on add a file. Now it's going to ask me where is the file from. I'm going to check for it in my download. That's where I kind of stored it. Okay, so um in my download there's a folder. Okay, yeah, this is the folder, and then I'm going to go to KodeCamp and then I'm going to click on the brochure. Wherever it is in your file, okay, you can see it is uploading the PDF documents, right? Good. So why are we doing this thing? This thing saves you enough energy in your prompts. You understand? Because this document already contains a lot. This is one of the things it has updated. Then Okay. Now, the file has been added. See one file here. Now I can do my prompts. This is 8:23. In keeping with that time, I'm just going to do one prompt here, and then I'm going to end. So, Imole, this is a product of multi-market, okay? I will say my company. What's in happen? Let me give it a background. My company, okay, I'll give it in quotes, code house, for instance. This is the real prompting here, code house seeks to launch a program called Tech Camp. Sorry, Tech Camp. With details contained in the attached or added file. Let me just use the term. Added file. Okay. Now, you see, I don't need to give like content background from because this file, I'm sorry, I'm just assuming that this file already have all those contents. So this added details as content, you see, he has taken care of background information, blah, 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 blah. Now, we are going to give it a task. I can say, please develop. You might not add please. They say you should stop adding please in. I don't know why, Sha. You can say develop. Okay, you can say use the information to develop a comprehensive. You can give it like this one now. You're giving it something like a scope. I want it to be detailed, comprehensive, detailed. Okay, listen, no market entry strategy to make this product very successful. Now, I'll put in Nigeria. Just imagine like, because it has to be in Nigeria or in Lagos or whatever, or for successful for Nigeria. Okay, for successful with Nigerian parents or with Nigerian parents as the or Nigerian parents living in diaspora as the primary targets. I don't know. Is it that this okay the primary targets? So this is 826 diaspora. Okay, so can you still hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Can you still see the screen? This thing will not
Yes,
make sense if you
sir.
can't see the screen.
We can see
Okay,
your
so
screen.
I'll just once you give me the this thing, Emmanuel, we have to end the class.
Yes, sir.
All right, so I've done that. Sorry. So I will share this with everyone. Emmanuel, because of time, this is 8:27. So you could see I've given a comprehensive example. I've reviewed look at what ChatGPT said, a quick one. I've reviewed your Codehouse CodeCamp brochure, and based on the program structure and value proposition, here is a comprehensive market entry strategy specifically crafted to make CodeCamp hit a hit among, I like this strategy, among Nigerian parents living in diaspora, in brackets, UK, US, and you see, it even knows where Nigeria they go most, UK, US, and Canada. Marketing position, blah, 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 bridging the gap, blah, 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 blah. You see, here with this, you see, it's not too vague and it's too direct, accurate, and because of what I uploaded information and all that. Ladies and gentlemen, because of time, unfortunately, we have to draw the curtain here. I hope it was really impactful. We are definitely going to continue next time, right? So thank you so much, Imole. I hand over to you. We can actually end the call here because of